Oh man, I'm so nervous. Hello everyone, and welcome to the premiere of our Keys to the Surface D&D 5e stream. I'm recording this yesterday, so unfortunately I can't respond to any of your wonderful, hopefully, messages in chat, but we are here to give you a short but sweet, hopefully, intro to the campaign, trying to give you some kind of background so you can enjoy the campaign to its fullest. This is a high magic, high politics, so high lore campaign, which means that everything that's happened is kind of important, and we just wanted to provide you with the option to get the down low on everything and get a head start on all of the lore, and fully appreciate each moment of the upcoming session that you're going to see. To do that, we have two different options for you. Flavor number one is that you joined us earlier on, or you're watching us on YouTube right now, catching up, and you want the longer version, which means that I give you a short but sweet lowdown of every session we've played so far, heavily summarized. We play for 4 to 8 hours usually. That'll hopefully take me around 10 to 15 minutes, giving you an overview of everything that's happened so far. After that, me and the rest of the cast discuss the last 3 episodes leading up to the episode you are going to see on stream, which means that you'll get player insights, player opinions on that, you'll get a few laughs, and you'll get the best moments from those episodes, so you can fully appreciate the motivations of the characters as they stepped into that episode that you're going to see. Please note that we did not know that this was going to be the first episode of the stream when we recorded it, so we're just playing. And, honestly, I prefer that. That's how this stream is, meant to be. We're just having our home game and trying to make it more entertaining for you guys. Let's quickly step into our first session ever, May 2020. We're all depressed as heck, but hey, we're here to have a good time. Number 1, Urban Origins. The Greystars, then consisting of Grawl, Mira, Jericho, and Kaskin, have at level 4 finally gained enough rapport to join the Genesis Guild, an Empire-led organization that kind of organizes adventuring and makes sure that everything's going off nice and smoothly, nice and controlled, maybe watching them a little bit. Their first mission, escorting a young nobleman named Marius to the neighboring merchant kingdom of Lorai. Leaving their home base, the Cloak and Stagger Inn, behind, they set off the next day. Session number 2, The Beaten Path. Journeying on the Platinum Pass, the road especially made for fast travel between Lorai and the Empire, the Greystars grow suspicious of Marius, who's a little shifty at times. Kaskin redesigns a cook's recipe book, and the Greystars cross the Platinum Bridge, paying the toll and resting with barred feathers of the Malorian Bard Guild, the Dulcet Lyres. The next day, they get ambushed by bandits in the middle of the day. The bandits are seeking a blonde woman. The party ends up winning the combat, but Mira, the only female in the party, doesn't seem to be the blonde woman they're looking for. The party, now even more suspicious of their companion Marius, questioningly turns toward him, and, realizing he can't keep up his charade for much longer, Marius starts to pull off his hat of disguise, as the session ends. 3. Disguise Dilemmas. Revealed to be the crown princess of the Empire, Lissa Maydelian, the party now realizes the stakes of their mission. They uncover that Maxim Macerat, Onarian nobleman, seems to have hired these bandits to kidnap the princess. Not knowing his motivations, they just keep journeying away from Oneris, resolving to research it later. They did. Stay tuned. He somehow knew she had snuck out of town, a thing which even her parents and magical guards hopefully didn't know. She wants to meet her fiancé, Malorian Crown Prince Callum Savoy, for the first time without a chaperone, to figure out the kind of man he really is, which is why she hired a pretty low-level escort to bring her there and disguised herself. Lissa May once again disguised, the Greystars travel on to the community of Illy Holand, a wood-elven settlement, on the edge of the Bladed Grove forest. There they meet the parents of their old friend, at least Jericho, Grayson Domaril, and their quirky assistant Rin. They learn also of a terrible disease that seems to be leaking from the heart of the forest. Session 4. Pestilence Control. Secretly followed by Rin, who seeks a cure for her ill sister, the Greystars investigate the Blade Plague, as it's called, finding an incredibly old dungeon at the heart of the disease's ruin that seems to have not been opened for hundreds of years. It seems unbelievably to be an empty dragon's lair. They don't manage to cure the Blade Plague, but only halt its progress. taking ancient writings, a strong dark artifact, millennium-old coins, and Ren with them on the rest of their journeys. Session 5. A Theodore visit. The party enters the village of Theodore, where they are welcomed. After a night's rest, the villagers weird them out. A lot. As they go to investigate, the party finds out that they fell for their performance. The entire town is comprised of a group of method actors, also belonging to the Dulcet Liars, that are playing out life's dramas in a huge stage setup, which is basically a temporary village that they are planning to travel around with. The party got caught in their playtesting, and after swallowing that hit to their pride, they decide to help the town out, which has been beset by velociraptors lately because, well, it's a long story. They, after a long, hard-fought combat, defeat all the velociraptors and get some interesting magic items for it in return, traveling onward. Session 6. Subversion in Sheadal. Sheadal, crowded as all the hells because of new border passage rules and it being the last town before the border, offers overpriced services and complicated dynamics that the Greystars get involved in because Lissa's fake papers get somehow discovered. Fighting moral conflict and the clock, they barter peace between the local lawmaster and a smuggler's ring that was ferrying people in dire need of crossing the border back and forth with good intentions. Reunited with Lissa, they meet Mira's good friend from childhood, Killian Dawn, who offers passage via sea instead of land on the ship he's quartermaster of. They leave Rin and Sheadal to follow her own passions, as Jericho receives an invitation to the Crystal Conclave Ball from his estranged mentor, Zofia. Session 7. Lightning Round. Just in time for the ship, the Greystars meet Killian's impressive captain, Reaper, a fleet-footed water genasi. During a lightning storm at sea, Mira, the storm sorceress, tries to find out more about her past by touching lightning. Instead, she gets dragged past the boundary of death and meets Sira, goddess of knowledge, who also ferries the dead into the afterlife, who admonishes her for being so foolish, but offers one answer to 1 out of 4 questions. Mira, after hearing an answer, awakens, alive and well, but with a scar from the lightning bolt, shaped like Syndra's mark. The morning, then, brings finally the party's arrival at Lorai. Sessions 8 and 9, making their way downtown. Now in Lorai, which is the name of both the country and the city, party gets embroiled in a doppelganger's schemes, and ends up saving Callum Savoy himself from falling prey to them. They make fast friends with him, Lissa still in disguise, and he invites them over for dinner, revealing then that he is in fact a rare warlock, having made a deal in the Feywild. They then meet his father to collect on the doppelganger's bounty, ruthless and cruel merchant king Karis Savoy, who basically orders them to get rid of an opposing noble family, or else. Stressed at the evil task they now have to do, the Greystars rope in Reaper to sneakily sail away the family off elsewhere. They then plan to kill whatever henchman Karis sends with them to spy on them, passing him off as collateral damage. Session 10. Jumping out of the window is not advised. Most hated and loved by the players. Their plans turn sour when said assassin turns out to be a kobold named Crick, friendly and cute despite having been trained for his entire 11-day-long life to murder people. Raul softens and briefly defends him, at that critical moment nearly costing Lissa her life and the party definitely their advantage. Given time to call reinforcements, Crick and the rest of Karis's men fight a long and hard battle, which the Greystars barely but ultimately win. They also barely manage to make an escape from the city guard, but cause a lot of collateral damage. Session 11. Persona non grata. The mission seems successful. The noble family is gone, the house burned down, but Karis Savoy is still suspicious of the party. He takes a pot shot at Mira by revoking her Malorian citizenship, making her ultimately stateless. Luckily, Lissa and Callum, who are now known to each other and are gaining mutual respect, foresaw something like this happening and made sure that Mira was written in the books as a Erelorian citizen as well. Shaken, the Greystars flee towards Mira's childhood home, the Blessed Sea Orphanage. Greeted warmly there, they meet mysterious traveler Carmen, who helps Mira deal with her pain after she is handed a gift left behind by her parents there, revealing she is not human, but Aasimar. Meanwhile, Raul gets plagued by dark dreams, and Jericho by dark voices. Session 12. Careful what you wish for. The party meets up again with Ren and Sheadal, this time accompanied by a new friend, the cleric Jasmine. Rin finally confesses her crush on Grawl, but he reveals a dark bargain made and flees. Distraught, Rin asks Galea to help him. She gets her wish, sort of, as she is bestowed with some sort of lycanthropy. Session 13. Blood in the Water. After having saved a town by the massively scary shark bears plaguing it, the party enjoys a stint at the temporary beard bar, which is exactly what it sounds like. By the end of the session, they have made their way back into Oneris, far different people from when they left, and now with 2 new members, Rin and Jasmine. Session 14. Capitalism. Having gone on with her charade for far too long, Lissa makes her way away from the party and says goodbye to sneak her way back into her own palace and hope she wasn't missed. Don't worry, she left a handmaiden in her stead disguising as her. Jericho also says goodbye, announcing a need to tend to a family issue. Mira then becomes officially party leader, and Jasmine and Rin get officially written into the Genesis Guild archives as being members of the Greystars. The party antagonizes a criminal rogue and plans infiltrating Maxim Maserat's housewarming ball to research his kidnapping attempt of Lissa earlier. They go to meet Grayson, him having put in a specialized inquiry with the Genesis Guild specifically for them, but at the door, Grawl recognizes the smell. This place smells exactly like that dragon's lair in the Bladed Grove. And that's where we ended the session. Sessions 15 to 20, heavily summarized. Suspicious, the party meets scholarly Grayson, who only during their second meeting admits that he is indeed an ancient dragon. After discussing and tense explanations, the Greystars decide to still take his quest, to go and explore these desert ruins that he's talking about down south. In the meantime, they visit Maxim's masquerade ball, and after a tense night there, making many new, unlikely allies, including Maxim Maserat, revealed to be a vampire himself, the Grawl and Rin ship finally sails. Having drawn significant attention from several nobles throughout their exploits and their appearance at that very VIP party yesterday, 2 archmages express a written interest in meeting. The Greystars fear a particular archmage that they assume is going to reprimand them for climbing in society this fast, but instead they get summoned by Jericho's old mentor, Zofia Cloven, archmage of innovation and transmutation. They all instantly hate her, and after a tense meeting and doing a little job for her, the second archmage turns out to be far better. Azaka Yaldrin, archmage of divination and diplomacy, turns out to be Lissa's best friend, who wanted to meet these fabled Greystars after she had told him so much about them. He shows himself to be a powerful friend and ally. Whew! That was quite something. That was fast. Of course, many more things happened, but I can't possibly summarize that many hours of play to you this fast. So, I hope I gave you a good sort of overview, kind of an insight into what we've been doing, and I hope that you are now excited for the political turmoil the Greystars have found themselves in. Up next, an interview with the cast about the next 3 sessions, following what I just described to you, in a little more detail, where a lot happens, including a character death. To find out more by watching this next part. We're all problematic children here.
No. Oh god.
I have no countdown. This feels so strange. I'm the countdown. Hello, everyone, and welcome to a special episode of Where Are They Now? Where we are going to try and see if we can explain to you what we have already recorded, but you're not going to see on stream in about 20 minutes, hopefully. We started recording a little bit earlier than we are going to show you on stream now, and we just figured we'd give you a little bit of an update because the character intros that you're going to see with the speed paints and all the nice things were actually written for the moment that we started the stream, so there's a little bit of a lot of drama that happened in the 3 recordings we did in between that is probably necessary for context, especially with the greater plot, and there were also some good moments, new inventions of new foods, for example, and a lot of chaos that happened. So we're just going to have a chat here with you guys, hang out a little, and explain, or at least try to make some sense of the, I think it was 17 hours of game time in those 3 recordings that we had. And by the fact that it's 17 hours over 3 recordings, you can already tell that something went wrong there. We'll get to that. So here with us, yes, a little bit. Here with us are our players. This is the first time and last time for a while that you will see their faces because we just recorded my face so far. Unfortunately for you guys, you only get to watch my face respond, and as mentioned, the others having funny faces. We'll fix that. Don't worry. To that side, Freddy, playing Graal, our half-orc barbarian, who was previously a blood hunter and made a deal with a god to change that up. Fitted his personality a little bit more, worked a little bit better. Freddy, would you like to introduce yourself a little bit?
I'm Freddy. I, like I said, play Graal, the half-orc barbarian, who used to be half-orc blood hunter. That's actually my second deal with the god. I pretty much just say yes anytime Emma gives me a choice in game, as you will be able to see clearly in some of the recordings. And I feel like that's my whole philosophy of D&D. If a choice is put in front of me, I'm usually going to agree with it.
I'm totally not the type of person to abuse that.
Yeah, repercussions be damned.
Well, you'll see what kind of chaos that causes soon. We've got Noob, who actually, in these first few episodes, plays Kaskin, and then transitions to Charm, which is what we've got the art for.
Yeah, I don't have a webcam. Kaskin had a good run, but it was time to give him up.
Yeah, you'll see him transition out on stream. Luckily, you still get to see some parts of his chaos, and trust me, there was a lot of it. I think it's the most chaotic neutral character I've ever seen. Charm is very different, but you'll meet her, sometime in the future. Pie.
Hi. This is the one where I tell Noob that I actually have an iPhone camera, and that's what he's looking at all this time. Hi, I'm Pie. It works so well. I play Jasmine. I am very much the newbie of the group. It still feels like it, even though I've been doing this for half a year by now already.
Shit.
Yep. So is Jasmine by that extent.
And rounding out our players on that side, I did it right the first time, is Novelist. Hello, Novelist. Yes, yeah. Hey.
It's only funny for me. Hi everyone. It's very nice to finally meet you in a way, because we've been working towards this for a while to actually start streaming and recording, and it's all complicated timey-wimey stuff. But I'm Novelist Val. I play Mira, the ASMR sorceress of the storm, and doing that with I'm doing it with a lot of joy, and it's been a revelation to, for the first time ever, play a female character, which I'd never done before. But I've gotten great feedback from my players, and I'm just having a lot of fun. And I'm the mom of the group. Well, I used to be the more mom of the group until Jasmine appeared, which helped tremendously.
You can tell how well we prepared this by the fact that I just introduced Graal's character and then just said nothing about all the others except for their names. Noob played Kaskin, the halfling rogue, at first, and has now transitioned to Charm, the tiefling, whatever class she tells the party she is. I think she says she's a bard. We'll see on stream whether that's actually the truth or not. And Pie plays Jasmine, who is a human cleric. Yeah, he's jiggling. There you go. Wiggle, wiggle, wiggle. And Freddy looks so content in the position he's frozen in. For us, these episodes are several months ago, so we all have cheat sheets with what happened in those episodes, and we're just going to go through them over a short amount of time. And so we started that session about last night with quite the hangover for everyone except for Mira. Because Kaskin, Graal, and Jasmine went partying in the Drink and Steel, a tavern that was known for its beautiful fake sword collection on its walls, and the good drink, and the now fabled unicorn mist that was sold there, and that is a hallucinogen. It's a drink that the party first encountered in a tavern that usually sells some weird drinks. They bought it, and Graal hallucinated a little bit after drinking it. He liked that. So they bought a whole bottle. Then they went to this tavern, and they served unicorn mist there as well. So Kaskin bought 100 drinks, 100 unicorn mist cocktails for the whole bar. The party wakes up after a night of heavy partying, which is not their style, the first time they did this, and until Graal decides to take a walk through the city, and hears a town crier say something about last night's partying going very wrong. And they're being a bounty out for the people who did this. A little suspicious, he heads to the notification wall, where he finds that not only was the sword collection real, but it was mostly stolen and cursed swords, which led to the partygoers with lower constitutions, who were very affected by the strange mix of unicorn mist and alcohol in that cocktail, to basically go insane, starting to wield the swords, and which led to the Thieves Guild faction that was there getting caught, and a lot of sword fighting, sometimes to the death, happening in that tavern right after the party left, for some odd reason. And, well, some people went permanently insane, some people died to the sword fighting, some people died to drug overdose, and now they're looking for a small man and his tall friend.
I just want to say a thing.
Yeah.
The first time I drank that stuff in-game, it was described as making everything bubbly and sparkly, and making all the lights shine brighter than they should have.
Mm-hmm.
It seemed pretty harmless.
It was, until it got combined with the wrong type of alcohol, unfortunately. And commoners with low constitution. So, Grawl then goes and tells this to the party. And Noob, do you want to explain how Kaskin responded to that?
I mean, I didn't think it would be favorable for us to have a bounty on our head. Because, I mean, it was only a matter of time before people put two and two together. Someone throwing out however much cash. And the band of adventurers who were very well known.
Yep.
So, I mean, I just went to clear things up. You know?
Yeah, you went
Went
to...
over to the lawmasters and it was all fine.
It was eventually all fine, yes. They thought you were there to turn yourself in, and you were there to just set things straight.
Correct.
Yeah. Eventually, it'll turn out all right, but all the Greystars were present by the end of that. Some kind of panicked that Kaskin had gone and turned himself in, called in to fix the situation, and basically you got an archmage that you had made friends with before, also a good friend of Lissa's, come flying in to the rescue to ultimately resolve the whole matter kind of quietly, and maybe below board, who knows?
Guards were definitely bribed.
Maybe guards were bribed. Who knows? So you walk outside, you go check your mail, and you find a letter from Dear Maxim. Hi. Would you like to tell us who Maxim was at that point, or is?
Yeah. What Jasmine also knows from the party is that it's like I don't know what you're told about him actually at this point, but he is the guy who got set up the kidnapping of Lissa.
Yeah.
And we were supposed to go and investigate him.
Yeah.
And I seduced him apparently.
Yeah, so in the effort to go and investigate who this dude was, you went to his ball, a very private, home ball, and he took a liking to you, and you had a long private conversation.
And I ran with it.
During which the rest of the party was searching his house.
Yep.
Where they found 2 enthralled women in his bedroom and several letters to his creator, apparently, and putting, 2 and 2 together, everyone almost simultaneously realized, this is a vampire. Okay. Gotcha.
I'm not sure if I put 2 together, I just asked, but yes.
Yeah, and then a moment later, it was only 2 minutes later after we all realized that we realized oh wait, Jasmine's alone with him now. Oh no.
Luckily, Jasmine has a high wisdom.
Jasmine was having the most Twilight scene of her life.
Yes, it was very romantic. Well,
I don't know if it was romantic, but it was something.
His attempts to charm her with his vampire charm failed, because what this DM forgot is that clerics are wisdom casters. So, yeah, that failed, and then kind of forced into a corner, he just opened up to you.
Yep.
It was like a forbidden fruit situation.
Yeah, it was exactly that.
Well, what the party, we have heard this. I also told him shit about, he also knows stuff about Jasmine.
Yeah.
And that's how we connected, I guess.
Yeah.
And they are still talking. And in the mailbox was the invitation to the festival, this celebration.
Yeah. The next day was Civilization's Dawn, a festival to celebrate the founding families of the Empire, and kind of also to celebrate each other's family and, community, I guess. There were a lot of party games, a lot of foods to be experienced, and Jasmine in her mailbox basically found an invitation to her and her friends, if need be, to an exclusive after party that he would take her to, and the entire party accepted.
it would take me to, and then also the rest of the party was there.
Yep.
Literally, I feel like that was his goal.
Yeah.
He seems so excited about the rest of us being there too.
Yeah.
Well, he had gifts.
Oh god, he did. Yes,
Yeah,
he
gifts
did.
For you two.
Yeah, I mean...
Yeah, did you want perfume? I mean,
Yes. You know what? As a matter of fact, I did. Maybe.
did Grawl want perfume?
No.
No.
Oh god. Yeah.
Oh,
So
God.
the next day, the party wakes up and is ready to go partying again, having learned everything from their previous experience. Mira goes and decides to go to the Tempest Temple to help with, to help with the medicinal efforts there. I forget what Ehabeo in English is.
Like, effectively, she was volunteering at the first aid stall because the festival has a lot of drunk people, and drunk people do a lot of dumb stuff, as evidenced by 2 nights prior, let's be honest. So I figured, like, let's step it up. We need to balance the scales a bit. But it was a very worthwhile endeavor, and I didn't really need to do a lot.
Hey, so while they're doing that, the rest of the party plays.
Because I'm the one who got the least drunk there. Pretty much.
They arm wrestle, they eat some cotton candy. Kaskin goes out to the artist's alley where there's a stage with storytellers and gets roped in to tell a story, decides to tell one about dragons, to which everyone responds like, a fairy tale. And then Kaskin goes like, no, real story. And everyone's like, haha, yeah, sure. Luckily, that didn't have any repercussions for you, Kaskin. And eventually Mira joins the group again to also have some fun in the festivities. And then Grawl and Kaskin decide to go and find some food and find a burger stall. And after harassing the shop owner for a little bit, Kaskin, who is a great cook, decides, what if we put cheese on here? And they then go out on a quest for cheese and a quest for something to reheat the burger with, first setting fire to an alleyway and then just paying someone to use their grill.
Pretty sure we also tried to find bacon, lettuce, pickles. You know, we didn't just make cheeseburgers.
Yeah, so, well, that was already on the burger, basically. So, you invented a cheeseburger in canon. Are you proud?
Yes.
Yeah,
Yes.
as an American, I feel like I've spread a little bit of our culture to, near us. Feels good.
There was a lot of disappointment from the other corners of the...
Yeah. So much so that you guys decided without telling the gentleman to just go somewhere else. Also, Jasmine and Rin were both feeling a bit off, so you went to Mira's old mentor's herbalism shop, Falco. And he wasn't there, but his new young apprentice, Dev, was. You had a conversation about his wanting to do work for charity in the future, and then went into the back room there to have girl talk with Rin, Jasmine, and Mira, where I think we talked a bit about how Jasmine had been feeling a little strange lately, but never got anywhere concrete with that. And then the conversation miraculously turned to Rin, who...
And to Mira.
And to Mira, yes.
Everybody else in the room but me.
Magic. Rin, who had been struggling with a possible case of lycanthropy, still not confirmed, but pretty sure. They tested her with wolfsbane, and she responded negatively to it, so there's the assumption that she is aware of something. But what exactly she is, the party doesn't know. And will probably not know for a long time, because she's gone now. Yeah, was there anything else important in the conversation? I'm not sure. I don't think so. No, okay. I don't see Novelist responding, so probably not. Then you found yourselves together again, had a this is a good burger moment. And, had some more festivities before. I think you went to visit Azaki again, the archmage that helped you earlier that day. No, wait, the day before. To get help with the Rin situation. Because it was close to the full moon and you were going to a party during the nighttime, so you just wanted to be sure that, just in case she shifted, you had something to do about it. And he ended up giving you a silver net and some instructions on how to treat other nobles with etiquette. And that's about where that session ended. Right before the evening on which you were supposed to go to the party that was only positive experiences for everyone.
It was hell.
Your faces.
I mean,
God.
Oh,
I think it
boy.
could have gone better even before the attack happened.
Yeah.
Oof.
In a severe lapse of judgment, I tortured my players during that second session that we're going to talk about today. The recording time is 7 hours and 42 minutes. Only approximately 1 hour of that is a break. And we play till 5 a.m. for the Europeans who are on this side of the screen.
You played it
Well-
till my bedtime on the East Coast.
Yep.
What, that's like 11 here or something?
Yep, that is Freddy bedtime.
Oh boy. It was an experience. Let's talk through it. Let's relive that experience.
Hmm.
Oh, you all look so excited.
Ugh.
Let's revivify those memories.
No.
Oh god, don't revivify that memory.
Okay, well,
We had to have other things for Vivify at that point. No.
Yeah, I love how Emma said she tortured her players. She left out the part where she killed one of her players that session.
We'll
oh,
get there. Spoilers.
spoilers.
Oi.
We're about 10 minutes, just kidding. Okay, well, it started off pretty nice. You know, you were getting dressed, you were doing your makeup, you were putting on some nice new clothes that you had gotten fancy, and, you know, you discussed how the party so far thought that Maxim was a villain, but he didn't seem like such a terrible guy, so there were some talks about that, how to approach that, and whether Jasmine should go and question him during said party, and how she would do that. And,
Use more blush on my neck.
All
That's
right.
nice.
Yeah.
I
oh,
already
no.
wanted to die by that point.
Oh boy.
I thought it was very impressive that we actually suggested that, because
Yeah.
usually as a guy I wouldn't think of that.
Wow, yes, kudos to you guys.
Yes.
Oh boy. He eventually arrives to pick you up with his guard and manservant, I think, and gave both Mira and Jasmine a bottle of perfume as a gift.
Rin too, or not?
No, not Rin, because he said he didn't want to get into Grall's territory.
Wait, was that the actual wording he used?
No, that was definitely not the actual wording he used.
But very much implied.
Yeah.
Sounded offensive the first way.
Well, he basically said that he thought that Grall wouldn't have appreciated it if he gave Rin a gift of that
it's not
sort.
wrong. Grawl probably wouldn't have appreciated it.
There's a lot to unpack there on a sociologist level, but let's do that for later. Chat to discuss.
You then, got teleported to the location of the party with the teleport spell, which in itself sounds super wasteful. But then you have to imagine that this is a high magic world. Okay, guys, everything is possible. Commoners have self-heating water buckets. You know, it's a wonderful world with
They do?
Yeah.
Oh, that's news for me, but awesome.
common magic
That's amazing.
items are common. You know, you can just buy
I
a
never
common
heard of
magic
the item before.
Oh, well, it sounds practical. You know.
Yeah.
Yeah. Like you can just make a little hot tub or like fill up your bath water faster. You know. That's the example I always use when I try to explain what a high magic world means in comparison to normal D&D. It's just like normal people have very low, just practical magic items. Yeah. Obviously, what you guys have on you at this point is so far out of that league, but we'll get to that. Yeah. Yeah. You get teleported there to Nethenore, which is basically the summer home of a lot of nobles as well. But in the woods there, the very pristine, well-curated woods, there was, a beautiful party, private party, VIP party set up. And you saw some familiar faces, you saw some unfamiliar faces, and found out that the party was indeed hosted by Lila Shadar, who is a part of the Golden Congregation, which are the leaders of the Empire. I forget their exact numbers, but I think they're about 12 people strong. It's basically the council that leads the entire Empire. And there you were at her party. You had met her before at Maxim's ball, and her cousin, Protus, who is the head judge of all of the Empire. Both elves, both pretty nice. And you were welcomed there. You know, not very familiarly, because Maxim just extended his invitation over to you guys and got you guys an invitation as well. But there you were, in the middle of the party sat what is now named a juke rock, because it was a rock that played music and had lights. And, yeah, you go ahead and mingle. And a lot of things happen, because in a high politics campaign, in a party situation, where there are a lot of important characters, you spend a lot of time talking. So a lot of talking ensued. As first, you met your old friend, Jericho, now an NPC, and no longer a PC. We're like, hey, Jericho, and he acted a little strangely. Not just because he was played by a different person, but also because he seemed to be with his old mentor, which you all thought that he hated her. Zafia Cloven, also an archmage, this time of transmutation. And, later in the party you would find out that not only was there a weird tension and did he listen to her requests particularly well, there also seemed to be some sort of enchantment on him. So you decided not to fully trust him, which was probably a pretty good decision.
I'm gonna note that down.
What?
Oh,
I feel like that was obvious.
yeah.
Grayson, for some odd reason, was there as well. None of you questioned that, which made me very happy because then I didn't have to tell you why. He met with another archmage, and the two nerded out over ancient ruins for most of the party after you guys had introduced them to each other. And and that's basically where you left him. He floated around and gossiped with some people as well, but that's all you know about what he did that night. Jasmine, you made the rounds with Maxim at first on his arm, kind of feeling a little awkward. If you're, yep. And then you take him for a walk in the woods, and Caskin spies on you, but you don't notice.
Caskin never told anybody what he saw. I just realized.
Yeah, no one will ever know that happened.
Nope.
I mean, I think there are a lot of things Caskin never told us.
Oh yeah. So you go into the woods with him. You talk to him for a little bit. I don't even remember what you did, but he ends up spilling
more personal information about myself that the party doesn't know about.
Yeah. And then he spilled his entire tragic backstory to you, which you have not given to the party in full. I think you gave them a couple bullet points. No, actually. I don't think you ever told anyone.
I'm not sure, actually.
I think we got so distracted with all the other things that you never told them.
I remember one thing. You didn't make a single insight check that entire conversation.
True.
That was an accurate
I
statement.
fully believe him.
We'll see
I
what
still do.
happens.
Mm-hmm.
But I should tell the party, yeah.
Yeah.
Anything.
Just for safety.
Jasmine never tells us things.
Oh no. Azaki, who had requested that you keep his husband company because his husband doesn't particularly love hanging out with nobles, gets accompanied by some of you throughout the party. You kind of rotate out. The princess, during that time, makes an undercover appearance to kind of talk to you before officially talking to you for a couple seconds, which she pulls off somehow, because my dice rolled well that night. And most of you also talked to your favorite two succubi, Villanera and Helivera, who, how can I explain this, are two succubi who have, left behind the shackles of their birth and have decided to just never kiss anyone out of principle because it seems kind of nasty. And now they're just these young girl nobles who love partying and love gossip and have given Grawl several bouts of relationship advice that he came to them for, about Rin.
They're a good kind of socialites.
Yep.
Very good friends of Caskin, his only confidants.
That's true. It's the only people... I think they got the most of Caskin's backstory that anyone ever did.
Yep. Disappointingly, yes.
Yeah, well, they weren't going to tell the rest of the party, so unfortunately, yeah.
Some say it's because their demonic looks reminded him of his ex-wife.
Oh, interesting.
And, Mira and Jasmine's demeanor of, God, do something, it did not.
The party gets officially introduced to the princess as well, finally, after weeks, if not months, of knowing her. So Grawl immediately just calls her Lissa again after that introduction, stepping up to her and going, "Hey, Lissa." Which, the guards will remember that. Just so you know.
I mean, I also followed that up with telling her, "Hey, I met these two succubi a little while ago. They give really great romantic advice. You should definitely talk to them about Prince Callum."
Yep. The party also meets Adrian, a diplomat on Callum's payroll. Callum is Lissa's fiancé that we talked about a little bit before. The only warlock that the party has ever seen, because warlocks are super rare in the Empire, and at that point, at least. And all the skeptical looks from everyone. Adrian is there as a diplomat to kind of scout out the city and the socialite groups and the parties and how everyone interacts before the prince actually comes for his wedding in a couple months' time. And he apparently has the gift that he sees people as they are and not how they would like to appear or as they appear. And he makes some interesting comments to Mira about other party guests, but also seems to be honorable with it to the point that he, doesn't get engaged where he doesn't need to be and where it doesn't affect Callum's safety.
Yeah. And honestly, I think the first male character that took any part of Mira's interests in any way, like, this is interesting. Like, usually she's just like about guys like, fucking stop talking.
Wow.
Yeah.
I don't know if that says anything about you as a player. I don't think we need to think about that too deeply.
Chat, discuss.
Discuss. No. Oh god, we're 45 minutes into this recording. It's fine. The occasion then gets attacked as a large metal... Actually, that was a very bad segue. As you are chatting with Adrian and other people, suddenly you hear the f of teleporting, and Adrian gets stabbed in the back by a gigantic sword, which causes quite the commotion at the party. He thankfully, thanks to Jasmine being in the right place at the right time, does not die from his wounds because she deflected some of the attacks, from the attacker, and several devils and that big demon, a large suit of armor, show up. And then, one by one, as the party and the players literally watch on in horror, all the powerful mages and all their guards and the literal dragon that was there all get teleported away by their guards, who have one job, and that is to keep, their people safe. As all the Greystars, as all the Greystars get left behind, scattered across the field because they were too scattered for anyone to really take all of them with them without risking that some of them would get left behind. Maxim decides to stay. His guard definitely running after that, and fight. But he was the only one out of all of them. Grayson might have decided to stay, but he got grabbed by the archmage he was talking to before he could make that decision for himself and teleported out. And with a collective, cinematic turn towards the enemies as they started trying to murder you, you started the battle, which lasted, I think, 4 hours in real life.
Yeah.
Too long.
It was long. It was tense. There were so many status effects at the same time. Yeah. And then at about 75% of it, Grawl died.
Yep. I take no responsibility for my fate, by the way. I blame the psychic damage.
Caskin had the diamond, the cleric didn't.
Yep. The cleric didn't have
the sorcerer the sorcerer had a great axe, the barbarian didn't.
Yep.
Yeah, because if you can't, dresses and formal wear, you can't have your weapons with you at all times,
I mean, to remedy this, we now, Jasmine has commissioned a little necklace where a diamond can be stored in at all times.
Yep.
Because I'm not doing that again.
Successfully revivified just on time. To Rin's great... Rin was very stressed when Grawl died, as you can probably imagine, just a little bit stressed. He lives. The combat finishes as you luckily win. And as you're heavily breathing, and honestly all of us were very tired and very annoyed, and we should have stopped earlier. But we finished. We did it, guys. It's done.
I'm still tired from just thinking about that again.
Oh, man.
I really didn't want to be there anymore. God.
I think I fell asleep 5 minutes after that session and did.
It was, not the best timing decision that I've ever made or that we've collectively made. There were some points where it's guys, should we stop? And then people are, no, let's just fucking finish it now. God, it's already 3 a.m. How much worse can it get?
By then I have a feeling it's going to be over soon, right?
It's like going through a setup of a lot of tequila shots, and halfway you're no, should I stop? And you're you know what, fuck it, I'm gonna power through. I've come this far, and it's free. That's the kind of feeling. And then the day after, you're I shouldn't have fucking. No.
Yeah.
I was also dead when the question was asked, and I kind of had a vested interest in seeing how things played out.
Yeah, that's fair.
Everyone did.
I had 4 hours of sleep that night.
Oh man, that was insane.
It was insane. And we've decided to just finish as soon as the combat was over. We didn't talk about anything. We just went to bed. So we come to the third episode we're discussing here today, and the last one. Because to my great surprise, it's actually only 3 episodes that we're cutting. I thought it was way more, but that's probably the timey-wimey bullshit of that combat, specifically. Pie, your look at the camera just it was long enough.
It's that faulty towers again, don't mention Zavar.
No, it's also the fact that we spent so long on Eris. It feels like it's been so, it was much longer.
Yeah, we started recording halfway through that, so it feels...
Yeah.
It was all just a big mess of plot. Yeah.
I think we spent a total of 32 in-game hours in Oneris before we even started recording, isn't that right?
I think so. Something like that. It was long.
But we survived, so the third session.
Third session. High politics, high reward. After you all come to terms with the fact that Grawl just died and, were brought to life again, and you're all heavily breathing after a long and harrowing combat, the reinforcements arrive. Expecting to find you all dead. Hey, they find you all alive. And having saved, they call it having saved everyone who was at the party because you took the fire. Who knows whether they would have followed or not, So basically you get claimed as heroes, but you're not really in the mood at that point to get claimed as heroes. You all just want to sleep in-game. So you get teleported home, brought home pretty quickly, and then get told that at 10 in the morning the next day, which leaves you with about 9 hours until then, the Emperor would like to see you at the palace, the Shimmerstead, which is, you know, kind of the biggest deal. With no time to prepare for that, you go to sleep, have your long rest, and then the next morning just have breakfast and go there.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Just go through the motions like fucking. It's been away 24 hours. Just fucking eat your breakfast.
It's fucking. Drink coffee, please, coffee. I think that's where Mira's coffee addiction like really got set into stone.
Yeah, that's what made her pull through the entire audience. Like, fuck it, I'm just gonna. It's the wakey juice. Let's go.
I remember the Emperor having a cup of coffee in his on his throne in his hand in the morning, and you were like, "Whoa, he can do that."
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, you arrived there.
He was so chill, and we were like, "Oh, okay, it's gonna be fine."
Oh, fuck. Yeah. You arrived, and not only was the Emperor wanting to see you, but the entirety of the Golden Congregation, minus one person who is usually not there, so that wasn't that abnormal. So the entirety of the most important people of the Empire were there in that room, plus the Malorian delegation with Adrian, who was very thankful for the save of his life, because it was concluded that it was indeed an attempt on his life, at least, maybe others. And you basically get thanked by most of them. And, you know, very well scrutinized by all of them as well. You have a short talk, relatively. You see Lissa sitting there. She looks fine, luckily. She was also at that party, which is why the Emperor and the Empress were exceedingly grateful that you, you know, you took the fire. From what, you know, looking at your harrowed faces must have been quite the hard combat. You talk a bit about how it's peculiar that there were devils and demons there. Who knows, that's probably not important for the plot, you know?
And interestingly, like, that wasn't the first time that, like, Lissa wasn't in real danger. Like, of course, the first one was a kidnapping, which could have gone either way, but never really happened. Then there was a moment that a very angry kobold, ran his swords, daggers into her chest and almost insta-gipped her, as was an assassin rogue.
Yep.
But,
Yep.
Yeah.
Literally the most dangerous enemy we've faced so far in the campaign.
Yourself.
And yet you still want to adopt anything that seems a bit cute.
It's a problem in our campaign. I make things cute because I think it's funny, and then they adopt things that are cute. Well, you get promised a big reward. Each one of you gets a very rare magic item, or the equivalent of it, that you can go commission at Rexar's Enchantment Emporium and Ensorcelment Exchange. And Eclectic Eccentricities, I think, is the full name. But the words are probably out of order. We just go by the shorthand Re most of the time.
We do not.
Yes, we do.
Yes, we do.
Make it real.
Stars. That's it. I have no agree about this.
A very peculiar tiefling with an ever-changing store interior, where you go and commission your very rare magic items. Caskin gets a ghost step tattoo. Grawl gets a belt of stone giant strength. Jasmine gets a fire tattoo. Yes, and Mira gets a staff of power. Rin asks for a wish though, for her sister, and gets it. Which means that her sister is going to get cured, which previously was a very big question mark whether or not that was going to happen anytime soon. And, yeah. No, I thought that was kind of nice.
Yeah.
Suddenly your name is known by a lot of people, which shows itself in all the episodes you're going to see later on after this.
Mm.
And you go shopping, basically. You go check your mailbox, find a lot of, like, thank you gifts from all the nobles there.
And the best part is that the mailbox got bigger. Because we ranked up, effectively.
The mailbox did get bigger. Oh, I remember that now. Oh, yeah.
Oh yeah, we leveled up in between those sessions, by the way.
Finally, level 8.
Finally, yeah.
I didn't remember how to level up my character sheet by the time we did that.
Look, we didn't have a lot of combat before, and then the party asked for more combats, and then I gave them the one we just talked about, and then they were like, no, not like that.
Not that much combat.
Combat.
No thanks, I choose life.
And then they decided to...
ask for more combat.
I don't know where he is in relation to me on the overlay, but I'm pointing at Noob.
You are pointing at Noob.
That guy.
I do enjoy combats, but I don't know if I asked for more.
Yeah.
I did?
Yeah.
I don't doubt it.
I have. I don't know if I asked for more. I did. Oh, I don't doubt it. Great. Awesome.
Sounds like me.
You decide to go check in with Grayson again. You're already your quest giver at that point because you guys were all like faffing around the city and thinking about staying for another like 2 weeks or something. And he was just like, okay, so news. I heard from that archmage yesterday that other people are also interested in the ruins you're going to visit. So you should probably go ASAP and not pick any fights there.
Because we don't want war.
Yeah, because the Brightburn forces, the mysterious and maybe dictatorial state to the west of the Empire, at whose border... Look, the ruins are at the border between Brightburn and Errolor is what I'm trying to say. They're on the side of Errolor, but the Brightburn forces are also quite interested and apparently moving into the desert, so...
I mean, who can tell what border is in the desert, eh?
Exactly. So, yeah, that's a thing that the party is traveling towards now. And they decide to indeed leave ASAP. Have a short training sequence where Jasmine starts to learn to be proficient with a rapier, Mira starts to learn to be proficient with a shield, and Grawl starts to learn to be proficient with perception. Which they will repeat a couple times on the road so far. And Jasmine has a goodbye dinner with Maxim, which is awkward, to say the least. But both say their goodbyes, both have somewhere else to go, and you kind of leave at this awkward point of not knowing where exactly you stand, but nothing's really happened, but a lot has happened, so...
But nothing is going to happen, but
Yeah.
something might happen.
Yeah.
Yeah. We're both also very awkward, which doesn't help.
It was great. It was cute. And that's about where that... Oh, he also gave you a diamond for the Revivify that you used as a gift, I remember now.
He did.
Yeah. In the mailbox, not personally. He wouldn't
No.
give that personally.
I mean, yeah, that would be the equivalent of, like, wanna marry, maybe? Like, it's not really a ring, but,
Oh god.
like, it might work. Like, it's a life promise. It's a life promise, or an unlife promise.
Oh god. That's where that session ended. Yeah. That's what you missed. Or, well, what we made you miss, I guess, with this. There was a lot of talking. It was just a lot of things that happened. So this
Some
episode...
emotional scenes.
Yeah. But luckily, this episode that you're going to watch now starts off with a lot of more emotional scenes. Hooray! I can promise that it gets wacky. Very, very, very wacky. I think there's about an hour of chirping somewhere in the middle.
Mm.
And, oh boy, does it get spicy at the end. That's all I can say.
I mean, I love
It's a certain
roleplay, but
elf.
I also love just watching stuff happen. And it's so good to just watch. So I think you also enjoy watching what's going to happen.
I'm really glad we're starting at this particular episode because, boy, it has everything. It gets so spicy and so wacky. The end is basically two people's backstories punching them in the face at the same time. So look forward to that.
Yeah.
And go watch. Go. I mean, I guess I'm gonna put it in now, but have fun. I hope you liked this. I hope this worked for you. And if it didn't, then it's too late now to say
And
anything
if you
about
skipped
it.
if you skipped it, like, that's your loss because we're
Fair.
fun. I just hope that you're going to have as much fun as I am playing it because I really enjoy being able to share this with other people.
Oh yeah. For us, it's 5 days until we air. So, man, I hope you enjoy what comes next. I am a great fan of this following episode, not only because I got to chirp for an hour. That was actually pretty fun. But I already have the title, which is a bonus of pre-recording. So you're going to now watch episode 1. Not So Random Encounters. And I hope you have a ton of fun. Do let us know. We will be hanging out in the chat with you and reacting to what happens and reacting to your reactions. And, well, give us some feedback. Let us know. And come back next week for even more of this chaos. And not this conversation again, because we won't be skipping any more episodes. But, yeah, thank you for hanging out. And we look forward to seeing you again in the future. Goodbye.
Bye.
Noob, wave. Come on.